What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl Tia Things back with another video, and today we're talking all things wedding. So apologies in advance, I have lost my AirPods. I don't know how the sound is going to be on this, but today we're going to kind of recap the entire wedding day, start to finish, and just kind of chat about how it went. So I slept at my parents' house the night before the wedding, and my now husband slept here just because he had family visiting and just staying at his mom's. So he slept here. I went to my mom's. It was very emotional to separate the night before. I don't know why. I didn't think it would be. But when he dropped me off at my mom's house, I was super emotional just knowing the next time I would see him would be walking down the aisle. And went to my mom's. We did a couple final little touches on my mom's house. She went above and beyond on the decor of her house. She has become a DIY queen, and that was really, really nice. So my sisters, my parents, and I just all kind of spent the evening together, basically a giant slumber party, and going over the plan for the next day. We then just went to bed and woke up the next day around 7:30, I think. It wasn't even that early. We went to the salon for 8. Makeup artist met us at the salon. So my sisters and my mom and I all got ready at that salon together. And then my other bridesmaids, they're just from all different areas and all have different preferences on their skin and hair. So they all got ready and just showed up at my parents' house. So that's kind of how I did it. I didn't do the traditional way that people do it now where we all get ready together. And basically we were there, the salon had music playing. It was just really nice vibes, and the salon itself wasn't open yet. So it was just us in there until I think 9:30, and then other people were coming in, but we were basically done by then. So from 8 to 10, we did hair and makeup for the 4 of us. Went back to my parents' house. My dad had made us some breakfast, we ate, and then things went very fast. That was like the only slow part of the day. Everything else moved super quickly. So once that was done, my sisters started getting dressed, my parents started getting dressed, and the bridesmaids started arriving one at a time. And this is where it becomes a real blur. So essentially, once the bridesmaids arrived, they were kind of having some snacks and sitting as well, all dressed, ready, hair, makeup. The photographer, videographer also got there, and that's where I went upstairs. We took like the shots of me like getting ready, putting the dress on, the earrings, all those little things. They did the details shots, which I love so much, with my veil. And then I did, so the order was a couple pictures with my mom and sisters during that like get ready time. And then they went back downstairs, and then I did my first look with my dad, which was the only time I lost it in the whole morning. I was pretty emotional at the salon, but I was able to kind of keep it together. But once I saw my dad and he saw me in his dress, in my dress, and he was all dressed up in his suit, and that's where I lost it for the first time that day. Which I felt like I knew I would. I think I knew that was going to be super emotional. And then we had a really nice moment, pictures and stuff. And then I did a first look with our junior bridesmaid and groomsmen. So the junior groomsmen and bridesmaids were my little cousins, my goddaughter and her brother. They were at my house. So I know that that's somewhat controversial because he's a junior groomsman, should have been with the boys, but I wanted him with me. So I did a first look with them. They got to see me all dressed up first before everyone else, which was really sweet. And then proceeded to go do the first look with my bridesmaids, which basically the bridesmaids were in the living room, and I came down the stairs, had them turn around on 3, and that was really great. I also kind of got choked up on that one, just because you talk about this with them for so long, and then all of a sudden it's here. So that was really, really great. I still remember like one of my best friends who was 9 months pregnant at the time was saying how she had shivers and goosebumps all over her body. And it was just really nice to see everyone's reaction just in the moment, you know. That was really nice. And again, from there, things moved very fast. It was like grab your bouquets, a couple pictures of putting the boutonniere on my dad, and a couple pictures of just me And then we were wrapping up, walking out the house, getting into the limos. And at this point, it was a gray day, but there was no rain. So I was holding out hope that the rain would wait until we got to the reception. That hope was quickly gone because as we were driving, it started to downpour. And it was downpouring hard, big drops all over. It was a lot. So I was like, okay. And so quickly we came up with a little plan of how I would get into the church without my husband seeing me. We made a little plan, told the bridesmaids in the limo. I was in a vintage car with my parents. So called the bridesmaids, told them, this is what we're gonna do. You guys go in. I'm gonna go in the side door kind of thing. So just gave them the update. And they told the groomsmen as well, so that they can just make sure to block any view that Daniel, my husband, would have had of me. So we did that. That went pretty well. It wasn't so bad going into the church. The drivers were really, really nice, brought out umbrellas and helped us get in. To lift my dress, I had a huge ball gown. To lift my dress, the train and the long veil were a little rough, but we made it. And I have to say, I think the most nerve-wracking part of the whole day was just standing in that little side door waiting for my turn to walk down the aisle. That was really hard. I was super emotional at that point. I was trying to keep it together. I could see him. I could peek through and see him through the window. So that was hard, just emotionally. And like all the feels were starting. And then when it was time to walk down the aisle, everything went great. I get down the aisle and my veil falls right as we're like at the bottom of the aisle, which was hilarious. I'm just like not bothered at all. People are like, oh my gosh, did she freak out? No, it falls out, you pop it back in, it is what it is. It was a long, heavy veil. There was a carpet. My dad also stepped on it. Who knows? It's just an array of events. So we did the ceremony, which was a church ceremony, and it went great. I was very emotional during the vow part. I could not keep it together. We had to take a pause so that I can compose myself. And so we did that. That was beautiful. I think the ceremony was perfect. It was really just, it was us. We had both of our moms do readings in their respective languages. So it was great. It had a little bit of something for everyone. And the church, I will say, usually, so my experience is that not everyone comes to the ceremony and then everyone comes to the reception for traditional big weddings like we had. And when I walked in the church and I saw how full it was, I still to this day cannot get over how full that church was. It was to the brim, every seat taken, and it was like a decent sized church. Everyone came to the ceremony, which just really like melted my heart. I still am not over that. Like we talk about that constantly, like, but the freaking church was so full, and that was just unexpected. We expected everyone to come for the party and not necessarily the ceremony. So really that like I'm still just mind blown over that. That was immensely beautiful. And then we wanted to take a shot. My one kind of big thing was I wanted us to all to walk back up the aisle, go down. There was a huge staircase outside the church. All of the guests get on the staircase and take that picture, which was basically recreating my parents' picture of their wedding. And of course it started downpouring. So I don't think we got that shot. The photographers, I think, tried their best, but we did not get that shot. Everyone kind of ran as the rain started. We went back in the church. We ended up taking some pictures in the church, then went to our venue and took the rest of the pictures there. I think the pictures worked out great. I've seen all the sneak peeks, which are so stunning. If you need a photographer, videographer, and you're in the Montreal area, Bright Site Visuals, you cannot go wrong. Our best friends use them. We use them. They're phenomenal. So I can't wait to see all of the pictures. We got our sneak peek, which is like 40 or so. And the rest we get in a couple months when they're all done being edited. But we're so happy. Our venue was beautiful. Everything was beautiful. We did those pictures. We did our private vows on our dance floor. That was the only thing that was a little bit chaotic because I would have preferred to have like a silent space of just the two of us to do that and not have like 50 people walking around, like staff and such. But I mean, you do your best with what you have and no regrets at all. And we can always read our private vows to each other at any point. So that was really great. went right into cocktail and greeting line, and you know, everyone was like, your cheeks are gonna hurt and there's 300 people and greeting line is gonna be exhausting. It really wasn't. It was a great experience. Everyone was so happy to be there and so just positive, and it was like great. We just got to see how excited everyone was for us and to personally say hi to everybody. And from there, we did our entrances into the reception with our bridal party. That all went great. And then it was a party. We did the speeches right at the beginning for my sisters, who were the maid of honors, and the best man did their speeches right at the beginning. And then it was just party from then on, father, daughter, mother, son dance, and our first dance, and rock and roll. We partied all night. I mean, it was great. It was a blast. It really was. Everybody had such a good time. And the food was amazing. I think the only thing we realized is we didn't really enjoy the midnight buffet because the music was so good, so we were dancing all night. So that's our only thing. I had a piece of our wedding cake, of course, that I made sure to have, which was delicious, but I did not go to the midnight buffet, and I should have just asked someone to make me a plate. Like, someone would have just ran over and made me a little plate, but I was so into dancing, I didn't even think of it at the time. But like, not a big loss at all. The food was amazing. People were raving about everything, so I know it was great. The main courses, we ate our 4-course meal. We just didn't have the midnight buffet. So everything else, we definitely had time to sit down, focused on eating and making sure we had food in our bellies. That was fantastic. And yeah, leaving the hall was a little chaotic just because you have to make sure you get all your personal stuff before leaving. But my family was super helpful with that. My parents drove us home. And then all of a sudden we were just home, and we were like, oh my gosh, it's like 4 a.m, and we got married, and that was the craziest day. And we still look back and think that was amazing. And I look at the videos and I'm so emotional. It was just such a fun time. Everybody just let loose, danced all night, had fun. There was no drama. Everyone was just in a positive hype mode, just like you want really on your wedding. So that is a little recap of the day. And I will be back with like a wedding tips playlist. I think I'm gonna do a few videos, but today is the 1 month since we got married, so I thought this video was very fitting for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment below if you want any specific wedding related topics, and I will get those videos up for you guys.